Alright guys, welcome back to Middle RC. Today we are starting the build series on the SIG 4-star 40 part 1, starting with the wing. And I'm only going to do the right wing in this just because the left build's the same. But before we get into it, I do want to show more detail on the modifications I'm going to be doing with this. So let's get right into them. So here is how the wing is built stock. As you can see, it's from the leading edge to the main spars. It's just wing ribs and 3/16 inch stringers, which works fine. It's plenty strong, but I'm not a big fan of how the covering, when shrunk, it kind of dips in between the ribs and all that, and just isn't my taste for look. So, or isn't my preferred taste as far as looks. So I decided to sheet the top and bottom from the leading edge to this main spar, fully sheet with 1/16 inch balsa sheeting, as you can see here, and it worked out pretty good. This kit was very easy to accept it, and it really strengthened up the wing by quite a bit. So for not a lot of weight, I do recommend it. Now, how I did get it to set the sheeting is I just modified the there's only two ribs in the kit. There's a W1 and a W2, and the W1 stock is cut to accept 1/16 inch sheeting. So all I did was from the leading edge to the main spar on each of the W2 ribs, I just sanded them down to the same profile as the W1s, and that's all I did for to make this whole wing accept sheeting. So the second mod I'm doing is I am clipping each wing bay with the, I'm just leaving one wing rib out. A lot of forums say it flies quite a bit more sporty, increases the roll rate by quite a bit, and makes the plane not float so much on landing. You can even see this in the ARF, that the wingspan is shorter than the actual kit. So anyway, those are the two mods I'm going to be showing in this wing build, and I just wanted to go into more detail about them, so enjoy the build video. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start getting ready to start to build the main, or the right wing here, right wing panel. So I've got some of the wood already laid out and pinned down. This is some of the bottom sheeting, and I used some ribs to space this whatever this is. Where is it? Yeah, 3/16 inch spars right here. Everything else kind of lined up, and so I kind of pinned that stuff, so I got ahead of myself. But I also placed the 1/16 inch balsa sheets right there, scrap piece of wood. Those are for the W1 ribs because they are not spaced the same, and they're going to be sheeted later, so that's why they're there and all that. So we've got all the wing ribs and all that. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen. I got my glue, got my pins right here, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and set this thing on time lapse and get going. Alright, well, as you can see, I got the W2s into the wing, and no, that last one isn't bent. It's just the way the camera angle looks. It's straight. I checked with my 90-degree square over there, my basic one I had. So one thing I'm going to do is dedicate, and I had to stop time lapse for this, is I was going to dedicate my mistakes to you guys, because I am a first time, RC builder here. I've read the instructions, it's gone over, but I've still made a mistake, so I'm going to show you that now. So here's the deal. Since I'm going with dual aileron servos, the one thing I need is holes in these ribs to allow the wire to come through. As you can see, I've done that with these ribs here. However, I forgot to do them on these, and as you can see, I've got no hole where they're supposed to go. So yes, that was my fault. The only ones that need W2s that need drilling are these guys, these two right here, the two front ones, because I'm going to set it in here. The rest are fine, but two of these were supposed to go over there. So that was once again my mistake, but that'll be an easy. I just have to hack some holes into it with either a hobby knife or shoot, probably even a drill bit will reach, to be honest with you. So my mistake, and yeah, just one thing, mistakes I make, I'm going to point out to you guys. So anyway, that's the first one about the first step of the build. Pretty much the first steps of the build. I already made one mistake, but it's one we will be able to solve. So anyway, back to time lapses. Alright, so I have added the remaining ribs for the right side, and I think it's turned out pretty good. It's, like I said, my first time doing this, so I'm sure it'll be better on the second one, but I think it'll work for a first go. All of the W1s for the right wing are in, and as you can see, I don't know, in the beginning of the time lapse, I drilled this one out, but the way the angle of the drill worked, I had to use a hobby knife to get that one in. But this is once again where I'm going to put my servo. So now I have all these holes, which unfortunately aren't lined up, but no big deal. It'll work anyway. So whatever we got to do to get the wire through, I'm not concerned about that. Now you may be wondering why I didn't go through this one, and that's because I'm actually still going to use the cutout here for the old aileron servo. The aileron servos won't be in there, but I need some more for the wires to come out. And so I'm just going to cut that out. So a hole for the wire was not necessary here. Also, this number rib here, as you can see, is slightly offset at an angle. It's out of focus too, but oh well, you'll just have to trust me. Here's the dihedral gauge for it, and all you do is you just make sure this dihedral gauge is perfectly in line, and then you will have the dihedral set. So pretty exciting. So let's continue on. Alright, so I wanted to stop the time lapse again. I know I'm going to be doing that a lot, but just want to show you guys what I'm finding out with this kit. So by far the hardest thing so far in this wing is getting this piece of 1 1/4 inch sheeting on as best as you can. This area here is definitely going to require a lot of filling and sanding. It doesn't sit flush on the 1/4 inch wood stick here. Like this area is high right here, and then these areas right here is a little low, so a lot of sanding and filling is going to have to be required here. They do basically sit flush though on the wing ribs, which is what we need, which is good. These though are not, but that's obviously for sheeting later. So but yeah, I mean, everything is going on pretty smoothly. I mean, it's only been about probably an hour's, probably not even that, since I've got started and already got the wing pretty much framed up. So I think what I'm going to do to finish the night, not the video, but the night, is I'm going to go install these. Probably the most important part of this kit as far as strength is we're going to install these shear webs in between here, all here, except for right here in this one, because the dihedral brace goes in there. I believe I'm going to double check and make sure. This one's going to have to be shortened significantly just because of the spacing of the W1 ribs. That's fine. But as you see here, they should fit in between almost every W2 rib right here. They will probably require a little bit of sanding and shaping, but you want them to fit nice and snug, but not so tight that it actually kind of, you know, spreads out the ribs or the actual shear web itself. But yeah, we will go ahead and get the shear webs in, and we will continue on with the time lapse. Alright, so I got my shear webs installed here. I got them CA'd in place, so that's all good to go. I put them as close as I could in the middle of the upper notch for the top spar right there and each one of the ribs. So no big deal. And then yes, we do want to skip this one for the dihedral brace, and then this one will be significantly shorter. So just something that you want to check. But yeah, that seems to be all good. So the next steps pretty much are going to be installing this top spar, the 3/16 inch stringer here, and then the actual leading edge in the triangle notches, I guess, or whatever. And then pretty much after that, it's ready to be depinned, trimmed at the end of the wing, and then just add sheeting here, and then it's pretty much done. So yeah, cool stuff. So continue on. So as you see, we got more wood added here. Got the spars, the main upper spar here, and the stringer, I guess. I don't know what you call it, but I did end up trimming the slots where they sit in just to get this to sit flush with the wing ribs. I feel like that's going to be a better way to do my forward sheeting. I did it also for this, the W1 ribs down here. I'm going to see how it works and all that. So got the wood sheets here that we need to apply to the W1 ribs right here. It's gonna go, well, it's not wide enough to bridge this gap, but it is wide enough to bridge this one here. So yeah, should be fun. So let's see what we can do. Alright, so I think this wing is ready to unpin now. Got the sheeting, stock forward sheeting, root sheeting there. And I'm thinking about actually pinning this thing down again so I can do the forward sheeting. It might be easier that way. I'm not sure yet. Like I said, I'm very new to this stuff, so we will just have to see. But yeah, we can unpin it, and all we have to do left pretty much is install the bottom spar down there, and then all the spars will be in. And with the wing off, we're gonna hit every joint we can get with some more glue to make sure she's really secured down and glued well. And yeah, continue on. Alright, so as you can see, I've got the wing for the progress now. I've cut off all the excess stringers and spars and all that right here, sanded them nice and flush, and yeah, this is what we have. So everything's pretty much ready to go. Just final sanding is all that's needed on this wing half. Obviously by now I probably maybe should build the left, but we'll worry about that later. This I do want to mention, you want to leave open for the dihedral brace. You want to make sure you leave that open so in case things need adjusting you can still have access. So leave that spot open, but then go and sheet the rest. So yeah, all's looking pretty good. So what we got to do now is the part that I'm the most worried about, and that is what I'm gonna do different. This stock to this kit is sheet the forward leading edge right here, and I'm kind of nervous about it. I may watch a few videos and see how other people are doing it first, but you know, probably once I do it once and find a good way to do it, I can get it done. So, but yeah, that's what's next. So we will continue on with the build. well, that was a chore and a huge learning process, to say the least. There will definitely be some things differently done on the left wing, but yeah, let's go ahead and go through. So this is, I just did the bottom first, as you saw in the time lapse. I also did the top, but I just didn't film that just because it's pretty much the same process. So the wood I ordered from Balsa USA, unfortunately, it wasn't very soft. It was pretty hard to bend, so I had to soak it down with water to get it to bend and all that. And yeah, so that was a little bit of a learning curve. So I tried on the top, I actually tried curving before I even put it on, but I sprayed the water and that just bananaed the whole thing. So I was like, I don't know if that's worth it, so it made it a little bit harder to put on. So but anyway, I did measure and cut it, and it did come out pretty close. This needs to be glued down yet a little bit. I noticed there's a little bit of a gap there, but no big deal. The biggest thing is that the sheeting here needs to be all one piece. Like I said, you want to leave this out for the dihedral brace, which is true, and you do want to do that, but this is what happens if you do it in two pieces. As you can see, the sheeting is not even right there. It's also there's going to be a really big dip right there. Unfortunately, that's just need a lot. It's going to need a lot of filler, and same on the top. I tried to get it as best as I could, but as you can see, it just doesn't follow the contour of a separate piece of sheeting very well. So I highly recommend that you do the entire front sheet all one piece. I thought I could match the contours up, but it's just turning out to be very difficult. So this area is just going to need a lot of filler and sanding and yeah, and all that. So I guess it comes at a cost for adding work, or adding this type of stuff to compared to stock. It's going to create a little work. And then yes, this is actually my first balsa sheeting job I've ever done. But yes, that is the build video on the this is part 1 on the SIG 4-star. We'll be continuing along. Next will be the fuse, probably tail and all that good stuff. Probably going to be a pretty long build series, but we will see what we can do. But anyway, thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for part 2.